G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action. Time for a movie shopping trip. Gonna check out the sales and then see what else we can find today. Kicking around JB Hi-Fi, they're having the 20% off sale, and I'm taking a look at the direct-to-video DVDs. No idea what Danger is, but it looks kind of fun. Dark Asset next to it looks a little bit more explosive, a little bit sci-fi. Again, don't quite recognise who's in it except for that guy. Dig, very basic name, that would be very hard to search. Thomas Jane. Project Legion, I've seen this one kicking around. I think it's zombies in a sci-fi universe. Could be good, could not be. Pretty surprised to see a Sanguis Sugar Bog poster being advertised here. There is a tour coming up. Into the horror section. I like taking a look here. They have a pretty decent sized one for this particular store. Fear Farm, I've got these, but I just wanted to call them out. Modern slashers, very short runtime, good fun. Ghost Project, not too sure what this could be. Doesn't look too bad from the cover art, might be a bit tame. Play Dead, this looks interesting. It's got Jerry O'Connell in it. Music by Steve Moore from Zombie, that's got me interested. Curse of Rosalie, I picked this up simply because my wife's name is Rosalie, made me laugh. Jack in the Box and its sequel. Again, these two are little modern indie horror films, worth your time. Looks like Umbrella's quietly released a bunch of war and classic films here. Bedford Incident, The War Lover, Bat of Victory, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Hell's Angels, The Mountain Road. Interesting little titles here. Not sure when they came out. The Expendables quadrilogy. That was the reason I'm here today. 20% off. Get part 4. Need to see it. Let's see if it's any good. Time for a spot of lunch. Hit up the little Japanese restaurant and had a bit of a laugh at the pork katsudon. I stuck with the chicken. Sat down having my lunch, waiting for heavy metallurgy to start. Into the reject shop. This is a bit of a random kind of store. They have everything from toilet brushes to lollies. I'm kind of looking for the latter. Picked up some British import wine gums. I love wine gums. Delicious. Samboy. Looks like they've expanded their range again. Used to get these as a kid. The best chips you could possibly find. Do I really need a soap dispenser in a dinosaur? I don't know, but it's pretty cool. Into the crappy toys, and look at this Lego ripoff. Mount Up! Some kind of scorpion guy. He's got some mad weapons. Looks pretty brutal. I've seen this here before. Pop Mart Robo Shop. Seems to be a Japanese toy dispensing machine. All kinds of interesting things in here that are probably fully imported. Hello, check out Ultraman here. This one was pretty tempting. Comes with a camera studio. Must be making his own film. $22 is a little bit too high, so not this time. Into games and things. This is a board game and otherwise knick-knack shop. Got some Lego animals here in the front. Well, not really Lego. You like puzzles? Well, they got plenty of puzzles here for you. I'm not too much of a fan, but I did quite like this merry-go-round that's made out of, I think it's wood and cardboard. I don't know how to play chess, but I was pretty tempted by a tinny of chess. Hope somebody doesn't try drinking the contents. Not a big comic book fan either, but the statues are kind of nice. Much prefer these Star Wars ones over here. Messina, they do the best gelato and ice cream, and it's time to have my traditional coffee ice cream. Plenty of other options here, but you can't improve upon the classic. Delicious. Into the Vinnies now. Take a look at what cheap DVDs we can find. First thing I see here, someone's dumped a box set of every 007 film up to the time that it came out. Don't need it, but let's go take a look at the shelves. See if there's anything good added. Fun to see this old local Dawn and Day of the Dead releases from way back when, at least 20 years old. There's a Get Smart Movie sequel. I had no idea. It's probably terrible. I Saw the Devil in a Bittersweet Life. Quality films, very dark. We Don't Live Here Anymore. Don't know what this is. Got Mark Ruffalo and it's a dendy. Stalag 17. This is a kind of war film I was pretty close to picking up. And then I realised it was a very cheap Blu-ray. Shaka Zulu. Seems to be a TV series and it's got Christopher Lee in it. Struck gold in the hardware department. Not one but two PlayStation 2s here. Kind of overpriced. $90 including all the gear. I suppose it's not too bad. There's a PS4. That's probably the newest console I've seen in the charity shop. Somebody's donated that. Samsung Blu-ray player. Comes with all the speakers. Much more interesting is this 80s Pioneer unit. A bit cheap, but it's fun to see. Man, late 90s, we all had these. Sony 800 watts PMPO 5 CD player. They were pretty average. These PC speakers take me back. They look like a knockoff of a better brand, but still nice to see these kinds of things around. Into the CDs, nothing good here except for, oh, Hanson, Snowed In. Wow. Back in the day, I made a parody website about black metal Hanson. You can find it on the web archive. It's from about 2000. Old mate here's found a bit of pizza bread. Having a great time eating it. Into the salvos now. See if we can find some DVDs here. No, but I did find some Star Wars. Irish John, pop-up antique shop. I've never seen this before. Could be some fun things in here. The first room I see is full of vintage posters. Always like checking out posters. I don't particularly have the room to store them or hang them, but some interesting ones here. Going through some of the bigger posters, it's all much of a muchness. And then I finally saw this one. This is a Grizzly poster. Beautiful artwork, unfortunately kind of ruined by the giant Sunday sign on it. I love this Blazing Stewardesses poster. Very raunchy. Very Police Academy. Check out these adult cartoon comics from probably the 60s and 70s. Sex to Sexty. Oh dear. I like this big Sundowners poster. It's framed. Good artwork on that. Check out this old vintage telephone. Tell kids you had to dial a phone, they won't believe you. Plenty of comics. Phantom, if you're into that kind of thing. Much more into the Fosters tinny. Yes, apparently we did used to sell Fosters. No idea what this It magazine is. It looks definitely from the 50s or 60s. This was under a glass counter. It was very vintage. Pulp, Sex, Death and Cheaper Thrills. Ooh la la. The Ring, boxing magazines. Pretty random pile here. I suppose if you like your boxing, there's plenty of magazines here to keep you interested. Gals and gags. Well, it certainly gives you what it says. There's gals on the cover and there's gags inside. And more gals. And then more gags. Another phone. This looks like a wartime one. Right next to the vintage helmets. Seen some action, I think. More posters and this giant boat someone's put together. We seem to be in a very ocean-themed room. There's also a plane. Check out this old Technics Lego. This has got to be from the early 80s. Put together, very dusty. It's all in Dutch language, I think. Old Canon Palmtronic calculator. Love the vintage box. The Believers poster. I had that on VHS. Books on taking photos and technical quality of photos. Pretty niche. Old board games. I used to have Domino Rally. That was always good fun. Strategio. That was always a bit too highbrow for me. Hot Track Road Racing. Looks like a bit of a Scalextrics knockoff. Ubiquity's not one I'm familiar with. Madcap Marathon. Looks familiar. Don't think I played it. But we all had a chemistry set when we were young. Laboratory 3. Some old Japanese posters here. Traditional art. Very cool. And into Liquorland, because I'm going to a party after this. Got to pick up some tinnies. Quite the selection. And I've literally picked up a 6-pack of tinnies. Original name. And on to the barbecue, where I picked up a few more movies. Great time. So I just picked up the one thing from JB Hi-Fi, and that is because I am complete as scum. The Expendables quadrilogy set. Now, of course, I had part 1, 2, and 3 on separate releases, but shelf space is a premium. And these complete collections, because let's face it, we're not going to get a 5th film, are we? Not in this franchise. We might get a Statham spin-off. I've heard about that. We're not going to get Expendables 5. I don't think 4 did very well. I haven't seen part 4 yet. I got this to watch it. I'm hearing things like worse than 3, so hey, look, whatever. I'm going to check it out. Part 1's great. Part 2 is excellent. Part 3 is a big step down because they went PG. Part 4, we'll find out. It's violent again, but it's also, I think, handing over to the new crew. And come on, they try that in 3, and look, we don't want that. Okay, fine, if Stallone's too old, then hand over to Dom the Dragon Wilson and Gary Daniels and Michael Wincott, Cynthia Rothrock. Hand over to them. Don't hand over to random 21-year-old fucking face on the magazine guy or girl. We don't care. That's not what we want. 20-year-olds are not watching this movie. It's 50-year-olds and 45-year-olds and 43-year-olds. And we just want to see the old guys doing old men things, and if they're too old, we'll hand it to the next generation. Hand it to the B generation. But anyway, whatever. I'm still going to watch it and cringe through Megan Fox and see how we go. But I like these sets. They're just shelf savers. They're aesthetically pleasing. And I wanted part 4. It was honestly under the sale. Cost me $15 Australian more to get the whole lot, and I'll just get rid of the previous ones. But I can't completely get rid of the previous ones because I remembered something. So I'll get to that in a second. But we just get Expendables, Expendables 2, Expendables 3, Expendables 4, Expend-4-balls, whatever. And 1, 2, and 3 are literally the same discs that we've already had, and then I guess 4 is the new one. They just got the disc, thrown them in the box. Very straightforward. It's fine. However, Expendables is the theatrical cut. That's all we got here. I had the American import of the director's cut, which is 11 minutes longer, significantly longer. So, taking the disc out of there, pop it in here. There you go. There's my ghettoed complete set. And yeah, if we get it part 5, I'll be laughing, but I highly doubt it. So there you go. That's what I picked up from JB. And this is the stuff that very briefly you saw at the end of the video that I picked up from the barbecue. My buddy, he brought me stuff. We go into sort of group buys. We make to save on postage from places like Severin. A bunch of us will go in on an order. International postage, not cheap. You can hit a threshold in it, and sometimes it's free. But either way, it was cheap to go in as a group buy. And these are the things that I got from the Severin sale. The new items. Raiders of the Living Dead. I had this on VHS way back in the day. Didn't have either of these covers. I attempted to watch it once and the tape got really chewed up. So I've never seen it. I've always been keen to. I know it's not usually revered, but I know a few people have said it's fun. It's short, it's 86 minutes. That's a good win for me. The early 80s Independent International co-founder President Samuel M. Sherman, who did Dracula vs. Frankenstein, took an unfinished zombie movie by Brett Piper called Queen Crab and began tinkering, and this is the result. He shot additional scenes featuring nuclear terrorists, a mad doctor, a kid, former child star Scott Schwartz of A Christmas Story, oh god, who converts a laserdisc player into a ray gun. I mean, this sounds amazing. 1930s cowboy star Bob Allen and a roasted hamster, Three Stooges and a retired octogenarian Zeta Johann from The Mummy, as in the original Mummy, added unstoppable earworm of an opening credits song to create a drive-in epic unlike any experience before. And it's got a wonderful new 2K scan from the negative with a final release version and 4 hours of friggin' extras. Audio commentaries, including the director, commentary with actor Robert DeVoe, Things to Do in Jersey When You're Dead, Dying Day original cut, 80 minutes. What's Dying Day? I don't know what Dying Day is. Didn't mention that. That's not Queen Crab. Is that... Okay, hang on. Queen Crab was in brackets. Zombie movie by Brett Piper, who must have also done Queen Crab. I'm assuming the zombie movie is Dying Day. That makes more sense. Okay, and Dark Knight, the second alternate version, 72 minutes. We're getting shorter. The Weird Strangers short film, Dark Nights and Dying Days, behind the scenes stills gallery, document of the dead, production gallery, and a trailer. And a slip. So, goddamn. Even if the film's crap, you've got all kinds of fancy things. There you go. And it's got no reversible slip cover, but yeah, different cover there than the slip. I actually prefer that, which is a bit of a theme, actually. Severin slips don't always win me over. And, man, this is definitely one of them. When they announced the film, I was like, man, I'm so stoked. Another Japanese VHS I can retire. Severin is the company that's made me retire more Japanese VHS than any other company. And this cover looks like Goatsy. I can't unsee it. I can't put a photo there of Goatsy. You know what it is, Goatse. I can't unsee it. Now you can't unsee it. But that slip, not great. That's the cover. That's the poster art. They should have put that on there, made it embossed or lenticular or something. I don't know what they were doing with that other slip. It's not good. So in fact, this is going to go in a box because the back's not any better. It's going in a box. This is the artwork. That is the film, Spider Labyrinth. Look at this. It's amazing. Anyway, I don't. So yeah, this is as I said, a forgotten horror gem. What I had on Japanese VHS, Italian film, from is late? Yeah, 1988. So it's quite late in the cycle, and it's never had a DVD. It's all I know of is the Japanese VHS. I think there's an Australian tape. It's probably a US tape, but I mean the Japanese VHS was the one to get because it was letterbox, it looked good. And then we've just skipped all of it and gone to 4K UHD, which is bananas. Thankfully it's got a Blu-ray in it, so I can play it. So you get... this is what my Japanese tape looks like. It's the same cover, so amazing that they actually included that. Very cool. It's got the track list there of the soundtrack, which we're going to get to. But you get disc 1, which is the UHD for those that can use them. The Blu-ray, which has got the crappy artwork. And then the soundtrack CD. So I got a soundtrack of Spider Labyrinth. Who'd have thunk it? Anyway, this film's delirious. I mean, the third act is crazy. It's kind of gothic horror kind of thing. And then the third act is just crazy. For more than 3 decades, remarkable debut feature and sole horror film by award-winning director Gianfranco Giagni has been one of the most elusive Italian horror titles in home video history. It has been until now. When an American professor is sent to Budapest to complete a mysterious research project, he'll become ensnared in a mind-bending web of sexual provocation, occult carnage, and arachnidian havoc. Roland Wybenga, William Berger from $5 for an August Moon, and Stephanie Audrin from Faceless star in this invaluable contribution to 80s Italian horror. Damn straight. Featuring unnerving special effects by Sergio Stivaletti from Cemetery Man, and an outstanding score by Franco Piasanti from Terra Firma, scanned in 4K from the original Vault Negative at Cinecittà, with a remastered soundtrack and 4 hours of new special features. This is the golden age stuff I'm talking about. This is nuts. This is nuts. Amazing work from Severin. Just not so much that slip. You get the UHD. It's got a commentary on it and a trailer. Disc 2 Blu-ray. You get Caught in the Web interview, Arcane another interview, All the Colors of a Spider. That's pretty funny. Interview with a cinematographer. Smile of the Spider-Woman, interview with actress, Death in Stop Motion, interview with the FX artist, Web of the Weird, placing Spider Labyrinth in the weird genre with Dr. Will Dodson, Ryan Verrill, and Erica Schultz, author of The Sweetest Taboo, an unapologetic guide to child kills in film, and a soundtrack CD. So, yep, Spider Labyrinth, and at the ending, I don't want to spoil anything. There's some photos there on the back. It doesn't actually spoil anything, but man, it's a wild one. Definitely check it out. this is the one I think most were incredibly excited about. Me too. Finally, we've had German attempts at this. We had Shameless doing an average Blu-ray. There's DVDs everywhere. Finally, someone's giving a proper release to Della Morte, Dell'Amore, Cemetery Man. One of the last great Italian films. It's like 1990, very late in the cycle. Find a date on here. 93. It's basically at the end of it. I mean, they're off making TV shows at this point. They've just given up on cinema. So, beautiful slip, hardcover-ish thing. It's got reflective silver on it. Nice back there. And again, another UHD, of which I cannot play, but that is what they do these days. Book, which is glossy, which is nice. Here you go. Stuff on film. Very nice. And then big fat Cemetery Man, UHD. You get UHD disc. You get the feature and extras on Blu-ray, additional extras on Blu-ray, and again, original motion picture soundtrack CD. So I'm loving that they do the soundtrack CDs. It's very cool. It's been called stylish and gruesome, grotesque and touching, an experience unlike any other. Oh, pardon me. Now this magnum opus by director Michele Soavi, the best Italian horror film of the 90s. I mean, what else is it up against? Think about it. I can't think of many off the top of my head. Can be experienced fully restored in UHD for the first time. Rupert Everett stars as the cemetery watchman Francesco Della Morte, tasked with dispatching the recently deceased when they rise from the graves. But when he falls in love with a beautiful young widow, Anna Fulci, will his resurrected lust for life become greater than his bond with death? Francois Hadji Lazaro from The City of Lost Children co-stars in this finest erotic, romantic, existential, black comedy, zombie, gorefest of our time with Soavi approved 4K scan. That's cool that he approved it. From the Cinecittà negative and 6 hours of special features. New interviews with Soavi and Everett, an extended, remastered soundtrack. Amazing. You had Disc 1, you get the UHD with the commentary and trailers. Disc 2, At the Graves, interview with Michele Soavi. Of Love and Death, interview with actor Rupert Everett. She, interview with actress Anna Fulci. Archival making of, so back in the day. Then Disc 3 is another Blu-ray, just nothing but extras, where you get Matter of Life and Death, interview with Gianni Romoli. Graveyard Shift, interview with the cinematographer. Head Over Heels, interview with actresses. Living Dead Man, interview with actor. The Music from the Underground, interview with the composer. Resurrection, interview with special effects artist. Cemetery Gates, interview with set designer. Grave Encounters, interview with Alan Jones. All interviews. I do like more your features, sort of featurette kind of things. Sometimes I like the ones that are tangentially related. Like some of those like the cannibal films, and then there's like a 90-minute documentary on just all cannibal films from Italy. I like those ones the most, but I mean, there's good stuff here. There'll be interesting things from the interviews. And this for us, the soundtrack CD. So there you go. Cemetery Man, Della Morte, Dell'Amore. It's great to have what is official. These things are going to be definitive. Like, the buck stops here. You don't need to go any further. You're done. And the last one of the Severin titles, which is a bit of an obscure one. It's an Italian television movie, Closed Circuit, filmed by Giuliano Montaldo. First, this is the North American home video premiere, so I'm presuming it's only ever done like the bootleg circuit at this point. You probably find TV rips online. But this is going to be an obscure one, but it looks interesting to me. It looks like a sort of a crime thriller / giallo kind of thing. And it's from 1978. It's Italian. It's of that time. Probably going to have a bit of a giallo feel to it. Following the international hits Grand Slam and Machine Gun McCain, director Giuliano Montaldo sets his sights on a different kind of project, a feature for RAI TV, its Italian television channel. Remains one of his most unique and criminally underseen thrillers of the 70s. At the local cinema, audience is watching a spaghetti western matinee. During the film's on-screen cinematic duel, a bullet is fired into a patron. With no leads and a theatre full of suspects, police investigators lock the doors but put everyone back in their seats and run the movie again. Will this shot in the dark reveal the real killer? Flavio Bucci from Suspiria, Tony Kendall from The Laurelese Grasp, good film, Giuliano Gemma from Tenebrae and a million other things, co-star in this original, intelligent and spooky shocker written by Oscar nominee Nicola Badaluccio. The Damned, now scanned in 2K from RAI TV Vault Elements, with special features, including one of the final interviews with Giuliano Montaldo. Very cool. You get introduction by Kia La Janice, author of House of Psychotic Women. I should get that book. I mean, I enjoyed the box set, and I should find out more about these things. Audio commentary with film historians Nathaniel Thompson and Howard Berger. Murder at the Matinee, interview with director Giuliano Montaldo. Il Sociologo, video essay by film historian Kat Ellinger on actor Flavio Bucci. And re-release trailer by Jake West. Jake West that did the Video Nasties documentaries. I'd love to see a third one of those, but I think there's a Blu-ray of the first two coming, which is nice. I've watched those DVDs a billion times. But I digress. Italian with optional English subtitles, 107 minutes for a TV movie. So there you go. It's the more basic release. I mean, what else? This thing is obscure as hell. It's more obscure than Spider Labyrinth. So we're lucky to get anything. No reverse. It's just, that's it. Probably never had artwork because it's made for TV. So you get what you get. Closed circuit. It does feel like it's going to be a crime, giallo, whodunit kind of thing. So I'm keen to check it out. Closed circuit. Now, that's the end of the things I got from the Severin order, which my buddy was very cool to bring to this barbecue. But what I was particularly excited about, same buddy went to Japan. He went on holiday, and he's a media buff like me. He went to a Japanese DVD, Laserdisc, VHS shop, and was browsing the shelves and took a photo. And I'll show you the photo here, because he pulled this out to show me that he found a copy of Avalon, which we all thought was hysterical, that he found a Japanese VHS of Avalon, Michael J. Murphy film. And I noticed in the background, and I wonder if you can see it in the background, because I certainly did. I said, buy this. This is the Seven Magnificent Gladiators. This is a Bruno Mattei directed film. It's written by Claudio Fragasso, did Troll 2. It's a Golden Globus canon production. I mean, we've got Mr. Hercules himself there on the front. It's got Sybil Danning in it. I watched this last night, and it was everything I hoped for. It's kind of kiddish, but it does have the violence. It's cheap. It's Bruno. It's, what is this, 83 or something? 84. It's a canon film. Did I mention that? 84. And this tape came out in 86. It is not a widescreen tape. Often they are. It starts, the credits are in letterbox, and then it stops and becomes a full screen presentation. But that's fine. It's a good print. It's a bit desaturated. All it did, though, is make me really, really wait and wish for Severin to do one of their tricks like they did with Bruno. Strike Commando 2, Robo War, Born to Fight. Well, just, they love the old Bruno. So, yeah, come on, guys. Seven Magnificent Gladiators with Hercules himself. Before he did Hercules. Amazing. Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. The tape is in excellent condition. There you go, that's the VHS, and it is the proper RCA Columbia case. In fact, this thing was shrink wrapped. I'm pretty sure it was re-shrink wrapped, because it's got like a rental barcode on it. I mean, Japanese tapes, yeah, it definitely has. It's got some rental stickers, so they've re-shrink wrapped it. But Japanese tapes, you are 1 in 1,000 you're going to have bad time. They're just beautiful. They are beautiful tapes. They weigh an absolute ton. They weigh double any other tape. They use proper stock. It's not cheap ferric tape. They use really good quality ferric tape. And yeah, you put it in there. There's no tape rolls. It just works. They're always the same. And they don't seem to go moldy. Like my Australian tapes, you just sneeze and 3 of them go moldy. All of my Japanese tapes, I've had one get a tiny bit of mold that I managed to scrape off. The rest, never. Doesn't even go near them. Anyway, Seven Magnificent Gladiators, amazing art, good fun film if you like your sword and sandals. I mean, Sybil Danning greases up at one point and has a top, well, not topless. She's in that kind of outfit. Has a bit of a wrestle with another greased up woman, and it's solely so Bruno can get the TNA kind of stuff into his film. But it is PG, so shirts remain on. But it's the thought that counts, Bruno. So that was amazing. And while he was there, he took photos of the rest of the shelves, and I went, I recognise that. It's another obscure one. I'd never seen it, but it's always something I wanted to see. Humanoid Defender, which is also called ridiculously Joe and the Colonel, and Joe is J.O.E. And that is not Joe or the Colonel on the cover. That's in fact a secondary character. It's still a cool cover. But so I watched this one last. I just felt like chaining these two Japanese tapes and watching them together. Again, great tape. This is a TV movie that was, I think, going to be a pilot for a series that never happened. The stars I don't recall because they're not particularly name-worthy stars, but this is kind of, I was actually watching this going, this is starting a bit like Daryl, that kid's film, where like scientists make a human robot hybrid enhanced human thing for the military, and then it like disobeys and the project gets shut down and the military are hunting it. A lot of that happens on this. It's that kind of thing, but it's not a kid's film in that style. It's just light on the violence because it's a TV film. But there's Joe, and I can't remember what it stands for. It's something, like something organic entity, like it's some kind of acronym. And he's got this dumb like permanent smile. Like he's not the like Solo or Soldier or that kind of like android kind of thing. He's this guy that's been made in a lab over a year, 365 days. He's birthed as an adult, and he's got like superhuman strength and double-sized rib cage and all this shit. But he's just sort of like a puppy. He's like Schwarzenegger at the start of Twins. It's like, the world's fine, and like he runs into some gang members on the street and gives them a big smile like it's Short Circuit 2 or something. It's odd. And he disobeys a direct order from his from the military people, from the general or whatever. It was probably from the Colonel, I can't remember, to like complete a task by shooting a dog. And like any sane person, he's like, well, I'm not going to shoot the dog. It's just a dog. It's not barking. It's just there. They're like, shoot the dog. Follow your orders. And he's like, no. So they're like, oh, let's cancel the project, by which they mean kill him. And he runs off with one of the scientists, and they go and live in a log cabin. It's all kind of cutesy, but then they're all after him. The military are like, no, we must shut down the project. They fail numerous times. And they unleash this guy, which is the second one. And that's the one that's like the hard ass. We got it right this time. Takes no shit, like Universal Soldier. Yeah, that's actually what it's a little bit like. It's like he's like the Van Damme Universal Soldier. And he's the Dolph Lundgren Universal Soldier. Like, I'm all ears. He's not chaotic. He doesn't do much, but he takes the orders. He gets... I don't want to reveal too much, but in the end, the last act twists, and they go groveling back to him and the Colonel, and get them to do one last mission. And it then is very much A-Team at this point. It is like a TV movie, but look, it's entertaining. And like I said, it's light on, it's PG kind of thing, but it's entertaining. It fades to black because it's like put ad break here kind of thing. I'm happy I watched it. And yeah, it's not on DVD. It's never going to be on DVD. There's an American tape, I think it's got a very similar cover, but this was there. And there you go, Japanese tape. Nice. Again, weighs a ton. Happy to have it. Correct aspect ratio, shot full screen, whatever. So yeah, there you go. Humanoid Defender, Joe and the Colonel. Whatever. So they're the films I picked up after my little shopping trip, and then more importantly the barbecue when I had many beers, and with the bunch of other movie guys. I didn't film that, but we talked movies all night, and had cake and ate steak, and I got some swag to bring home. Hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe. I do enjoy doing the movie videos, let me know what you think of these tapes and Blu-rays that I picked up. Make sure you check out this guy, and check out this guy, and I'll see you next time.